Radio coming up momentarily.
Monday morning quarterback Denard Robinson.
Denard Robinson, shoelaces flopping in the wind, goes all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan.
On the Big 1050 WTKA.
And we are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at the big1050.com. Sam Webb, Mr. Ira Weintraub on the other side, and joining us as he does every single Monday during the football season, our Monday morning quarterback, number 16. He was a star quarterback at the University of Michigan, and he is our Monday morning quarterback, Mr. Denard Robinson. Shoelace. How you doing, my brother?
Good morning, man. How you doing, man? Not too good, not too good. My Jaguars won, but you know the weekend not complete if we don't beat Ohio State. I mean, it was rough one this weekend, man.
Yeah, we here win or lose. You know, we here win or lose.
We here win or that's the fact. We here win or lose, and we gotta report on what's going on and what happened and what we need to happen and to get better. You know, I told you it's easy to watch film after a dub, but boy, after a loss, man.
Yeah, it is. So before we get to it, want to tell the people that the Monday Morning Quarterback is brought to you by our friends at Golden Limousine. All across the country, Michigan rides on Golden, and you can too. From Detroit to Ann Arbor and beyond, join the team, businesses, and communities that trust Golden for safe professional transportation. Visit goldenlimo.com to book your ride now. And let me say before we go on, as I did in the post game, got to give it up to the Buckeyes. You know, I've been talking about them like a dog.
Yeah.
For years, so they got it in. They got it in. They put it on Michigan. They won in convincing fashion. They won the trenches emphatically. They won the tactical battle emphatically. They won every phase emphatically. No fluke. It wasn't about the Bible touchdown or anything like that. Nothing fluky about it. They won the game every which way. So hats off to the Buckeyes. I'm not going to even short them on that. They got it in.
Yeah. And I tell people this, man. They was the most physical team that on Saturday. I mean, they beat us through the air, on the ground, whatever they wanted to do to us, they did it. And they held the ball. The time of possession was big. I mean, it was a big difference between the time of possession between us and them. I mean, watching that game, it looked like, you know, that 2023 team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the way they took their time with the ball and just drove down the field slowly but surely. You know, so that was tough to watch. And I mean, the Jeremiah Smith, everybody want to say, oh, he dropped the ball, it was a fumble, it should have went out. That's a momentum change. We had the momentum at the beginning of the game. If we wanted to strike, we had twice. Yeah, twice. You got to go get a touchdown. You got to go get a touchdown because now it's at 14-0. You know, now they're reaching and they're trying to get something going. But when you get 6 points, you know, this is what it's not the same team from last year. You know, you don't have the two guys like KG and Mason Graham in the middle. You know, that's the big difference. So
that was you know, they started out in such promising fashion, Leif, that counter hit them. They were running the football on them out the gate. Couple counters hit early in that contest, but when you don't get 7, when you're in the red zone twice against that team, that just you're not going to be able to keep pace with them. Right. That's a killer. That's a killer ultimately in that contest. So I felt like, to me, as I look big picture, they were able to put, at least in the early portion of that game, they were able to run it effectively enough. I just don't think the passing plan was good enough. I don't think that they tried to force balance when they had a chance to try to achieve it. I think, you know, and that's not to say that you know, you don't try to work whatever advantage you have, or to even say that there weren't things open on those third down passes. There were, but I think that when you throw when you have to, I think that is making things harder on a freshman quarterback. That's not letting him off the hook, because he did miss some things on those plays.
Right.
But I'm saying that it puts more pressure on him to execute in those moments. And he was clearly uncomfortable already. So I think there needed to be more first down throws early. And the only first down throw you saw in the first half of the game was on the first drive.
Yeah.
I think that is, I just think that's a bad passing plan when you do that.
That's a recipe. Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. But Michigan in the last couple of years was run first heavy. Get in front of the sticks. That was the biggest thing, and I think they are always play in front of the sticks. They try to get 4 yards on the first down, so now you're in front of the sticks. So I think that was the biggest thing that they try to do. And they've been having success running the ball in the last couple of games. Well, this whole season they've been having success running the ball. But this weekend, the first down runs wasn't getting you what you normally get, towards the meat of the game. And so I think that's what we fell a victim to. And I think, you definitely got to give him a couple of first down throws to make him comfortable, to get in front of them sticks, to be able to make those 3rd to 8 plays, make those long plays sometimes. So get that rhythm going early on. That's what I think they should have did with the first down. And I agree with you on that. Like get him going a little bit on the first down, because that helped his momentum on 3rd down, and have the confidence to throw the ball. You don't want them to know they got to blitz up the field. They got their ears pinned back. They ready to come. That's the worst part of knowing that you have to throw the ball. Like if I know I have to throw the ball, they know we have to throw the ball. So they're gonna rush a little different. They're gonna go full go. And so that's one of the things that we had to. I understand why we didn't have success on 3rd down as we should have.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my point. I mean, it tells you everything that it was a penalty, and it could have been like 2nd and 15. They said no, we'd take 3rd and 5. They said no, we'd take 3rd and 5. It's like, hey, nah, we'd rather do that, because on 3rd down we know they're gonna throw the ball, and we good with that. Because at that point in the game, they feel like his confidence is shot on 3rd down,
right?
And he's not really seeing the field on that point, because they haven't been able to build any sort of rhythm and confidence from earlier in the game when that was possible to do. So that to me was, from a game plan perspective, just not a good game plan, not a good offensive game plan from a passing perspective. Because I thought the run plan was good. I mean, they were able to gash him early, and when you had Jordan going out was just, I mean, you lost Jordan, you lost Max. I mean, they just couldn't catch a break as far as that was concerned.
Yeah, and that's a big part of the run game. Max not being there, Jordan not being there. That's a big part of the run game, because the way Jordan run the ball, not to take anything from Kuz. Kuz is doing a great job running the ball. He filled in well last week. But Jordan Marshall is one of those guys that can run through the arm tackles, that have good contact balance, that can break the long one. And he gonna play, that's just a different running back. And so when you don't have that element of that bruiser running back, it's tough. And when you can't get your quarterback in rhythm, and I think that was the biggest thing for me, was he never got in rhythm. His feet never got in rhythm. His standing down the field never got in rhythm. And I think that was the biggest thing. This game wasn't one of the ones that you could say, hey, he took a step forward. This game was the first time I felt all season that he didn't take a step forward. And it's because it just didn't seem like he was sending the ball down. I mean, send the field right. He didn't trust his feet. He did, like on plays that he should just punch, play, and throw the ball. He didn't do that this game. And I've been watching him all the season, just breaking it down. And this game was the first one I didn't see that he took a step forward. in his game of knowing the ball, knowing where to go with the ball, being good with his feet in the pocket, understanding when to get rid of the ball, understanding when to tuck the ball and pull it and run, getting to the check down. There were certain things this game that he didn't move forward this game, and it's okay because he's a young guy and Matt Patricia has that defense playing well. And when you have a safety like Caleb Downs on the side, it's a little different.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't even just for me. It wasn't even just the pass plays, though. It was it was on some of the read options.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So like play eight. I was looking at that. Play 8, he had a quarterback counter read. He didn't read that right. It was he had a couple counters. He didn't pull it. Like he had a couple of ones that RPOs that he should have gave it on play 20. On play 27, he should have just gave the ball on the RPO screen. Play 8 was the counter play I was talking about. What was another one I thought he had? And it was a couple ones he had bad footwork, like play 37. You go down, and it's just easy thing. Just get your feet in rhythm with the timing of the route. And I think those are the things that he's gonna have to work on this offseason. Going to this bowl game, just work on those little things of learning when to put the ball and doing little drills just to work on pulling and doing little drills to work on just getting his feet to time up with the routes. I think that's the biggest thing for him because he got to learn what's the best, what fit him best. Is it punch plant? Is it just flip the hips and throw the ball out? That's what Rich Rod used to teach me, just flip the hips and throw the ball, get rid of the ball and time up with the 5-yard hitch. So things like that, we need to figure out what's gonna work for him. Is it punch plant and then throw it? So I think that's the thing that Josh and Chip Lindsey gonna have to work on with him this season. It's footwork.
Yeah, I mean that to me I saw what you saw with the read option with the RPO. There were a couple of misreads there. That was what I saw with not totally comfortable, which lent itself to me also saying, man, you got to give him some throws on first down, give him some layups on first down.
Right.
Don't make every throw be on third down. That doesn't mean it's going to work, right? But certainly if you want some of these third down throws to work, you're going to have to give him some layups on early downs. But not to put it all on that. They probably thinking, hey, if we want to have a chance, we better be running.
Right.
You better be running these balls.
but what I did notice, they tried to go fast on third down. They tried to go fast to understand because they knew what look that Ohio State would give them. So they tried to go fast and get those guys to line up a certain way. And that's one thing I noticed, that they was trying to get them in certain sets, and they knew what defense they were going to get. And a couple times Ohio State called timeout. They called timeout because that reason, because they knew they was going to check it to a certain defense. And so that they did a good job of game planning, but I feel like they should have used it a little bit more and did it a little bit more on first and second down. Like go out there, on second down, have 2 plays already called and get it going quicker. You know what I'm saying? So you knew what it was going to check it to, because guess what? Now you can't get a call there that quick. You got to hurry up and line up and get ready. So I wish they would have did that more on second down to get them to line up however they wanted them to line up. And that's one thing I was paying attention to that I thought they should have used in the game plan was do it on second down instead of waiting on third. Do it on second down so they can get them in the defense that they knew they was going to get into.
Yeah. I noticed that too, where they tried to run up to the line. And Ohio State was like, no.
Because you got them where you want it. I think they should have did that more. They should have put that on film more, because I think that would have helped them. That would help him know what defense they was getting and help Lindsey know, okay, I know what defense they're getting. And if you get them in that situation more, now you know what you're getting, and it's easy to call plays when you have a defense that you know what coverage they're running and what stunt they might run or what blitz they might run. So it's easier to do that. And I think that's something that they should have used more.
Yeah, man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to swallow. I'm not saying that it would have I'm not saying that it would have been a difference in the game. Again, I don't want
No, for sure, no.
Guys to say that,
No.
upset it would have swung the game.
No, for sure not.
They were definitely, they won this game in convincing fashion. I'm saying it might have helped put some more game pressure on Ohio State. That's what you're hoping for, to put them in position where there's some game pressure on Ryan Day, because that is your only hope, because you weren't getting any pressure on the quarterback. So if you aren't getting any pressure on the quarterback, your only hope is that the game pressure would make Ryan Day make some sort of mistake, right? That's what you're hoping is going to swing the game, because you aren't going to stop that offense if you aren't getting any pressure on Julian Sand.
Yeah, if he got all day and you got a chance to get JD the ball, you got Cornell Tate. I mean, Cornell Tate is a first rounder, and he's a number 2 receiver. You know what I'm saying? And you got Jeremiah Smith. I mean, it's hard for those guys to keep up with those guys the whole game. They go make a play. Those are the type of guys that you got to understand that it comes with their territory. Those guys are going to make plays. You just got to limit them to making how many plays they're going to make. So. Hats off to Ohio State. They did a thing. I mean, I can't even there's nothing in the game I could that would have been the big difference. No, those guys beat us. They beat us pretty good, And I'm a realist. At the end of the day, you got to say, okay, they handled their business, Sam. Sam, they came here and they was on a mission. You could tell that they was the more. I feel like they took it to us. And although we came out fast and furious on the first 2 or 3 drives, those guys calmed down and they made the adjustment that they needed to make, and Julian saying he made me a believer a little bit. Not gonna lie to you.
Well, I mean, look, bro, he had all day, Lace. I mean, Lace, if you had all day to throw, bro, I mean, you would have, man. I mean, no disrespect. I mean, the dude had all day to throw. Good grief, man.
Oh man.
I mean, but you couldn't. I mean, except for the one clear, but they had one real big bust. The one to
the Cornell.
Yeah, one to Cornell Tate. That was just a big bust. I mean, I thought that was a good defensive call, and your post safety was sitting for. I mean, that was just a bust on Michigan. Right. But other than that, it's like, bro, he had all day to throw. I mean, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, you had some things, man. It was tough. It was tough to watch. I mean, because you got to double team the two receivers, man. You got to put 4 eyes on the receivers. You got to. I mean, JJ is one of the best, if not the best, in the country receiver right now. I mean, if he entered the draft last year, this year, he still would have been the first receiver took it off the board. That's how good he is. I mean, so he actually don't even have to play the rest of next year. He don't even have to play if he don't want to. I mean, he's still gonna be the first receiver taken. He's that good. So you limit yourself from blitzing because now you don't have the guys to blitz because they're using the eyes to help double team those 2 receivers. So what you do, you got to just rush the 4 and hopefully they get home. And I think that's why we miss KG and Mason Graham. That's the big 2 first rounders. You take them out the middle. That's a big difference. You don't think so?
Nah. Well, hold on. I was just. What did you say there, Blaze? What did you say there?
I said if they had to only rush 4 because we was watching the 2 receivers. We had to have 2 guys on the 2 receivers. So you go to rush 4. So
yeah, man,
it's hard to get home with 4 guys sometimes.
Yeah, man. Look, that's the story of the game. Michigan was able to get home with 4 last year. Michigan they were able to get home with 4. Michigan. Yeah. The story was different. The story
but you got respect. You got 2 first rounders leave last year, and that's from your D line. It's two guys in the trenches. I mean, that's a big difference, man. You got 2 first rounders leave from the D tackles and the nose tackle. Like that's a big difference. You can't the middle of the field is muddy when you have 2 first rounders in there, and you can't step up in that pocket right there because that's gone because you got Mason Graham and KG coming in like right there in your face. What you gonna do? You can't step up in the pocket, so the edge guys get to have fun. So this year it's not that. I mean, you got Rashad Bennett. I think he do a good job, but it's not consistent enough to be Mason Graham and KG. And I those guys are first rounders for a reason.
Yeah, that was the story of the game on defense. Michigan playing too high and couldn't stop the run, couldn't get home. That's why I say everything that we talk about offensively, you're hoping that it can keep you close enough to apply game pressure. But to say that would have been the difference in the game, I can't say that. I can't say that would have been a difference in the game. I'm saying. So
what you think? So you said it was nothing we could have done.
I'm saying maybe it would have kept them in the game. Maybe it would have kept them in the game, and then you apply some game pressure to Ryan Day. Who knows what happens, right? Who knows what happens if there's some game pressure on Ryan Day? Who knows what he does? Maybe he cracks under the pressure, like we've seen him do in the past. So,
that's true. That is true. But we didn't put enough pressure on him. You're right. So if one of those field goals was a touchdown, it would have made a difference. It would have made a difference in the game.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So, you look back, and are there things that I think could have been done differently that maybe would have made a difference? I think there are things that could have made things easier on Bryce, could have helped make him more comfortable. Would it have made him perform better? I don't know. Because I want to qualify that. I'm saying they could have given him more first down passes. I don't know that would have made him perform better. I think it would have given him a better chance because, as I say that, I'm also pointing out that there were some misreads in the run game, right? So, I'm just giving you some things that I think from the past plan, I don't think that were conducive to success. But at the same time, you could see some things that were even absent that in the run game that lent themselves to, man, you definitely could see he wasn't comfortable out there.
Right. And that's the thing, man. I think they got to do things to get him comfortable. And now you had a year. It's a whole year, and I think this was a great learning year for him. And I think obviously as a freshman, sometimes it's better to sit. But the best teacher is being in the fire. And I think he got to go through the fire. He got to go through some ups and downs in the season. He got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, and I think this gonna benefit us in the long run. I mean, I think next year this kid can be special. And I've said that from the beginning. I'm still saying it now. I think he just gotta all routes. They all got a certain footwork. You gotta have them and have the rhythm to go with it and take the time and learn the process of being one with your feet in the route concept. I think that's gonna be the biggest thing for him this offseason. And make the routine plays that we know he can make. And let's get going, man. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited. That was a tough game. That was rough. I mean, you had some ups and downs. You had some throws that I thought he should have made. A couple of touchdowns I thought he had. He had a touchdown, I thought, on play 35. I thought he could have threw the post with a flat-footed safety. When the safety flat-footed.
I know the play you're talking about.
We
gotta get to a break. I know the play you're talking about.
Okay, all right.
It was a touchdown. It was a touchdown, Lace, but it's in the second half of the game. And by this point, like, I'm not making an excuse. Okay, I want to be clear. I'm not making an excuse for him. But what I'm saying is you haven't gotten the quarterback to a point where he's gonna see that play. I don't think.
So you said he hasn't got to the point where he can process that. I'm
saying that I'm talking about in that game. And
Okay.
I'm saying
No, you said the flow of the game.
I'm saying in the flow of the game. I'm saying that's why I'm saying you throw it on first down earlier in the game. You're investing in his confidence early in the game. You're investing in him seeing in the field. You're investing in the rhythm. You're investing in him, getting the feel for the passing game earlier in the game. So by the time you get to that point in the game, all right, now he's seeing the field. He got the field. Now he can make that throw. Man, I know why he missed that throw. Right? I feel like it, under different circumstances, maybe he sees it.
Yeah. I mean, it's about building that confidence.
Yeah, I might be wrong, but I had no expectation based on how the game had gone up to that point. I had no expectation for him that he was going to hit that. No.
Wow. I mean, that's yeah. And I agree with you because you got to lead him up into that. Like, you got to get him comfortable enough to make those throws, and he got to have. I think that it's about being in a rhythm. I'll agree with you on that. But at the end of the day, we got to make a play. So
yeah, you're right.
I agree with both of them. But at the end of the day, we got to make a play. He's a playmaker. Michigan brought him in there to be a playmaker.
Right, and again, you got to hit that though. You got to hit it. You got to hit it. No, you got to hit that. But I also think you got to invest. You got to invest in building him to the point to hit that. In my opinion, my humble opinion. So anyway, we got to get to a break. Be back on the other side here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA online at thebig1050.com.
Clear on the radio.
All right. If you have questions for Lace, start putting them in the chat right now, and we will get to them in the overtime session, which is after the show. I mean, I see a lot of some of these are like rumor mongers. So look, what we don't do, y'all, is like some of the tabloid stuff. So I see some of these like rumor stuff. So like one of these, like the A Hunt thing about some of these salacious things. Those rumors that you posting about ain't that this is about the break and this, but no, that's not true. All right, just come on, man. Yeah, so people were looking for stuff. People look for stuff, and if stuff was there, it would have been stuff would have been it would have come to light already. Just put it that way. All right. So come on, man. Anyway. What else we got? If you got questions for Lace, put it in the chat. If you got questions for Lace, put it in the chat and we will get to it in the overtime session. And we will knock it down. And get them to you in the post show. So Denard, the bowl practices. How big will the bowl practices be for these guys, you think?
Oh, it's gonna be huge, man. It's gonna be huge. I think that's you get more weeks to practice. I mean, you get weeks to have another game plan to take another step in the right direction for this team. I think it's a young team. I mean, they're gonna lose a couple guys. They're gonna lose guys on defense. I think they're gonna lose a lot of guys on defense. They're gonna lose a couple guys on offense. But for the core of this team, it's a young team, and majority of these guys will be coming back. So these extra practice give them extra reps of seeing how to game plan, seeing how to find their way a little bit. And then you have more time to game plan for a team. And so that even teach you more of the things that you could kind of put into your 1 week. So like we got what you get like almost a month to get ready for the team, 6 weeks or something like that. And depending on what bowl game they're playing in, right? So now you get to understand, okay, what I need to learn in a week, in a month. So now you find little things that you say, okay, I might be able to use this and put it in my weekly routine to make me understand a defense or offense or the safeties, the process of how to break down film and what I want to do at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week, what I want to be doing. So on Monday, I used to like to see, okay, what's their favorite thing to do on first down. So all day on Monday, I'll do first down.
Okay.
Stand by, guys.
So
back on radio in 5, 4.
Monday morning quarterback Denard Robinson.
Denard Robinson, shoelaces flopping in the wind, goes all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan.
On the Big 1050 WTKA.
And we are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at the big1050.com. We are back with our Monday morning quarterback, Denard Robinson. We are going to be getting to the overtime where you can ask your questions for Denard. If you have questions for Shoelace, you can get with us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Right now, though, we have more with Shoelace. We'll get to it momentarily. Before we do, want to get to our proud sponsor, Golden Limousine. Excellence on the road begins with Golden Limousine International. From charter buses for big events to executive travel across the Midwest, Golden Limousine delivers safety, reliability, and sophistication. Discover the possibilities at goldenlimo.com and book now. So, Lace, man, you come off a game like this where obviously you didn't play your best on either side of the ball, but offensively, especially, take me through coming off of this game. You know, Sunday, Monday, you know, you getting ready for the postseason. Take me through, you know, meetings, practice. What is it like? How do you pick yourself up from something like this?
Man, I know yesterday was a tough day in that building. It was probably real quiet. You know, you kind of walk with your head down a little bit because you wanted that one. That's one of the ones that you always want every season, and you look forward to. You prepare for them all year, and so like that's something that you always mention every day. You know, so it's tough. You got to come back and lick your wounds and understand. You know, go through the film, break it down, see the things that you should have did or you didn't do. Everybody reflected in the building. I mean, from the coaches to the training staff to the strip staff, everybody's reflecting like, what can I do to get better? And I think that's the biggest thing right now. Like you on a day like this, on Sunday and Monday, you wake up and you still like thinking about like, you know, dang, like we could have did. What can I did to do? What can I did to put myself in the right position? Like I remember sometimes after we lost this game, I'll be in there with the equipment staff helping clean up the locker room and stuff like that because I'll be so mad about losing. And so like you got to watch the film, you got to go break down the film, you got to go see what you didn't see on the football field and go through the corrections of how can you read the RPO right, how can you read the quarterback draw, the counter, all those different things. And what we could have took advantage of, what I didn't see, you know, I think that's the biggest thing. You don't dwell on it too much, but you got to start getting ready for the postseason after that. You know, you got 2 days, you got 48 hours to get over this game, and that's about it. What you got for me, Sam? What you got?
Yeah, so this is a great question that we won't save for overtime. We'll get to it right now, because I think it's a great one to get for the entire audience. Alan Barnes, 517, wants to know, Lace, what does Bryce need to work on in the offseason to be a much better quarterback? And that can actually start with the 15 bowl practices, right? Heading into the bowl. So what would those things be, Lace?
I think I said this earlier. He has to put the footwork to the route concept, and I think that's the biggest thing. Understanding, like, okay, if it's just punch plant, let's get the ball out, pick a side. Your pre-snap read is probably going to be your right read, because guess what? They're going to show you what you're doing because everything's going to happen quicker. Understanding when he get rhythm with his feet. So if a deeper route, he got to understand he got a three a hitch and throw, or 5 a hitch and throw, or 7 hitch and throw if he understands it. So I think he got to get the rhythm of his feet and the route concept. I think that's the biggest thing for him. His feet and the route concepts, and getting that to be one, and then understanding defense. I think he got to take some time and really go through and process of a snap and having a pre-snap read, and then going through what the defense actually gives him. I think he has to see the safeties a little bit better. But for the most part, I've seen him have progression throughout the season of seeing the defense and understanding where his eyes should be at. And I've seen good things going. So in that process of this bowl games, these 15 bowl games, practices, he need to be doing that even more, and just understanding the route concept and feet work.
Yeah,
let them tie together. They're married.
Yeah, man. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like from end of season and into the bowl game. What the picture looks like as far as the offense is concerned. You're going to have an opportunity to get some healing, get some guys back, and then they allow him to work on some things. Because here's what I feel like. Look, you got a season under his belt now, Lace.
Right.
Regardless of what you think about where he is offensively, and what you think his limitations might be, or what you think this offense is right now, he has some experience. He's been in the fire. I think you got to go invest in another wide receiver, another number one on the other side of Marsh.
Right.
I think you got to invest in, broadening the offense as far as the pass game is concerned. And you got to be like, hey, we're going to throw this football some more next year.
Well,
like
I think that's the biggest thing.
The passing offense has to take a step, a big leap next year. You have got to be your quarterback. You have got to be more quarterback dependent next year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think
you run the football and all of that, but I think you got to be more. What's the best way to say? Like, he got to be a Heisman guy. Like, Bryce Underwood got to be a Heisman guy next year. That don't mean he got to win the Heisman, but he got to be a Heisman guy next. He need to be in the race. Is what I'm saying. And you're not in the race if the passing game isn't prime. So that means whatever the statistics are, you need to be like that. So that doesn't mean you're chasing. I'm not chasing stats, but that's a byproduct of what I'm talking about. So the passing game needs to be like that. It needs to grow. That needs to be an investment in this offseason, in my opinion.
For sure. And I think another thing is he get more time with these receivers to create that timing. I think that's the biggest thing that's not talked about enough as a quarterback. I mean, we see it all the time with Tom Brady when he bring all the receivers out, he throw them all summer because he want them to be around them. He want to have the timing with each other. He want to have all those things happen. And I think this is going to be their first off season for real of a full off season, because I feel like now you get they did it last year, but we didn't know he was going to be the starter. But now you know he's going to be the starter, and you know he's going to have his guys. He already got his receivers already there. And if we bring somebody else on in the spring in this bowl part, you know, we're gonna have some guys graduate early and come on board now. He's gonna have that rhythm and that timing with these guys. So the more you know your receivers, the more you know, okay, what he can catch, is his catch rate is this, what's his speed like, and now you'll have more time of getting that understanding of the timing and everything. I think that's gonna be the biggest thing. I always tell people, man, I trusted my receivers because we threw the ball so much that I knew what he could do and what he couldn't do. And I remember, like, I tell people all the time, when Treat came up to me twice in the Notre Dame game, at the end of the game, I knew he was going to come through for me. And because we've done these things so many times, and I think that's going to be a good thing for him and Marsh. The timing and the relationship, they keep growing and keep getting better with each other. I think that's going to be a good relationship for both of those guys, for them to both get drafted high one of these days. And I think if they stay here all 3 years, they're going to be a special duel in Michigan history. You know, I will probably be one of those guys that be like, okay, they might be the Berlin Airwards or the Chad Henneys, you know. So you watch those guys, you see these guys, and I think those guys can trend in the right direction to be that.
Yeah,
for Michigan.
Yeah, man, it can be special. It can certainly be special. You got to put some other guys. You got to get some other guys in offer, but the offensive line is going to be there.
Right.
You know, you got Jordan Marshall coming back. You got the number one running back in the country coming in. You're gonna have some pieces. You do have to go get another receiver. Like, you know,
oh yeah, for sure.
That can't be the only weapon. Like, you got to put some other pieces around them, and then you got to go spend on the defense. Remember this. Like, somebody was talking about Ohio State lost. They said they lost 18 players and a couple of coordinators and all this, and look at them, they undefeated. Let's not make these apples for apples comparisons. You know, Michigan coming off a championship and Ohio State coming off the championship that they won last year. Not the same. It's two different scenarios. Ohio State coming off first of all, the championship they came off of was different than the one Michigan came off an undefeated championship. I'm gonna draw a distinction.
Right.
Now, the distinction they can draw is they came off a championship and they had back to back, like top 3 classes. Number one, they were recruiting at the top of college football. So they had that to their advantage. Michigan did not. They were not recruiting elite classes. That's distinction number one for them. So they were replenishing the stock with top tier classes. Number 2, second distinction. Not only were they recruiting top tier classes, they also said, you know what else we're going to do? We're going to go in the portal and we're going to go get the top guys. We're going to go get Caleb Downs. We're going to go get Julian Sand. We're going to go get Quinshawn Judkins. They went and got the top guys in the portal in like every position. They went and got like all the top guys. And so, I mean, so let's not act like they didn't just go spend like a gazillion dollars in the portal on top of it too. Right. So they had the top recruits and the top portal guys on top of it too.
I mean,
so now if you're gonna do that, that's what I'm saying. Let's go do the portal thing too. If you're gonna do what Ohio State did, let's go. Now, Michigan they're starting to recruit at that level again, which is great. And now followed it up with the portal piece too, which would be great as well. Now development is a part of that as well. You want to develop your guys, and that is the bridge, because you aren't ever going to spend. I don't know if you're ever going to, spend. You aren't ever going to be able to get as many guys in the portal as Ohio State. You just aren't.
No,
because they can get more guys. Even if you say you want to spend as much money, they can get more guys in the portal than you can get in. Just because school wise too though. Like, think about the school. Like in Michigan is it's a difficult school to get into. There's not one of those schools that you can just easily get into and your credits just automatic transfer over to them.
I think that's the biggest thing. The credits don't always transfer over to Michigan, so that's why it's hard to get an older guy in the portal if he hasn't graduated and things like that. So people don't look at those things and understand that. I think that's the bigger thing. Like if we had the same, Michigan is Michigan for a reason because we have it is the best university in the country, and the brains of it is you can't get a guy that's a junior or a senior to transfer over that didn't graduate, and so that half of the credits don't come over, and who's gonna go do that? They did all the work to graduate, and now they got to get set back to be a sophomore, and they're a senior and on the field, and now they're a sophomore in school. So that's the difference. I mean, so that's why it's gonna be hard for us to get like some guys in the portal. We have to get younger guys. So that's just the truth and reality of it.
Yeah. All right. So listen, that's going to do it for this part of the Monday Morning Quarterback. The overtime session is coming up. So those of you who want to ask questions for Lace, be sure to hang with us for over at that part. To the rest of you, we have to depart. But I want to remind those of you who are in the market for a new vehicle, get on board with Brighton Ford, where your next adventure begins. Ready to take the wheel of your dream Ford. At Brighton Ford, it's more than just buying a car, stepping into a lifestyle of power, performance, and possibility. Feel the thrill, take it for a spin, and drive it home today. Experience the Brighton Ford difference where excitement meets excellence. If you're leasing a car already, make the switch seamlessly. Brighton Ford, pick up your current lease and deliver your new Ford right to your doorstep. No hassle, no stress. And for even more convenience, their trained technicians can now come to your home or workplace with their service vehicles equipped with handle routine maintenance services right on site. And call 1-800-NEW-FORD and get on board with Brighton Ford. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Michigan Insider, right here on the Big 1050 WTKA, right online at thebig1050.com.
And we are clear on the radio.
All right. If you have questions for Lace, put them in the chat. If you have questions for Lace, put them in the chat. Super chats go to the top. If you have questions for Lace, put them in the chat, and I'll start knocking them down. And plenty of them have already come in. So let's get to the overtime, and we will start knocking them down. Okay, wait, I messed that up. All right, let me do that again. If you have questions for Lace, put them in the chat. And one of them, Lace, people have been asking over and over again. They want to know, do you think hiring a dedicated quarterback coach is advisable for Bryce? Do you think that's something that Michigan should do?
I think Al Borges is right in Ann Arbor, and I think he'll do a good job of just being whatever they need him to be. I know Josh, he's doing a good job of helping mold Bryce, but I think Al Borges will do a good job of getting his footwork and the concept down. I think he'll do a good job of helping get that done. I think if you put a guy like Al Borges in place to help get his footwork and time it with the concepts, I think it'll help him out tremendously. The guy like him and how smart he is with the game of football, I think that'll do a good job of just getting Borges just to be in there and help him out with his footwork, because I think he did a great job of doing that with me.
You said get Gorgeous Borges in there.
Get Gorgeous Borges in there and let him do his magic. I think that's one thing he kind of tied me up with. People always got mad at him like, oh, he putting Denard on the center. I think he did a good job of just putting me on the center and learning. I knew how to time up my footwork would time up with the play action, and just me turning my back and flicking the ball to a guy was a big difference for me for the safeties to come up. And if I got off my plant foot and just bang an out route or hit a curl route or hit a bang eight or hit I love hitting the bang eight. I was just watching the game against Purdue. I threw one to Devin, and I think if I didn't have Borges teach me how to hold a safety with my eyes and bang that post, that's one of the things that I think he can do a good job of just helping Bryce with his footwork.
Yeah, so that was question cut from a different cloth. He said, been talking about Bryce footwork. We see y'all. He needs work on his touch. What are your thoughts on the QB coach? Have any recommendations? He recommended Gorgeous Borges. That's sure.
Yep.
He said, hey, get Allen.
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go. There you go. Gorgeous Borges. All right, I said super chats to the top. So Go Jay gets his pound of flesh. That's the Buckeye who came in. Hey, man, he get his pound of flesh, and he came with a super chat, too. He said, run out the Dollar Tree and get you another box of Kleenex.
We need everything today, man. I need some Kleenex. I need a couple of days to just take a deep breath and woosah. I need to go be on the beach somewhere and listen to the ocean waves just clash.
Yeah.
It was a rough week.
All right. Tino the Don said, hey, Lace, how much of a jump we see the offense make? How much of a jump can we see the offense make during bowl practices? We have to get the pass game going to be able to run.
Oh, for sure. We're going to get healthy. I mean, you probably get Jordan Marshall back. I'm assuming, he got that's another month for him to get back healthy. But what I want to see is him understanding, tie his feet to the concepts and being consistent with doing that. That's what I want to see from this bowl practice. I think we can see that because we already see him do the progression of him going through his check downs. We see him do the triangle, the 1, 2, 3 check down. We seen that. And so the more we see things like that, the more I'm confident of him just now having his feet married with the concepts and understanding where his eyes should be at, where the ball should be going, and knowing when he should check it down, and knowing when he should take off. So I think that's what I want to see in this bowl prep and this time that we have for getting ready for the bowl game. And I think Chip Lindsey with this amount of time to get ready for a bowl game, I think he's going to be a mastermind behind it. And I think he had that much time to, that's 15 practices to get himself ready for a team. I think he's a tough guy when it comes down to having a certain amount of time with an opponent.
All right. Let's see. Andy R. Schlitz says, real question, what's the difference between having a real quarterback coach and just having an OC like Chip Lindsey, Lace?
I mean, when you have somebody dedicated to make sure everything is running the right way, that's the difference because OC has to watch everything. He has to know what the tight end's doing, know what the right guard doing, the left guard doing, the center, the left tackle, the right tackle, the receivers, the X, the Y, the Z, and the running back, and the quarterback. Like that's a lot of things that you have to make sure everybody's doing the right thing. And I think when you have somebody solely just for that, just for the quarterback, he has more time to process what the quarterback doing, what the little fine details of being able to, help a quarterback become what they need to become. I think that's the biggest thing because you are looking at the bigger picture most of the time, and when you have a quarterback coach, he's just looking at the little details of what you need to do with your foot, how you need to hold your foot, how you need to throw the ball. And I mean, you don't want to do that much with him because he already have the talent to put his foot in the right way. Now it's about learning how to time his foot up with concepts. And I think that's the biggest thing, marrying them together and learning how to, get the concepts with his footwork with all the concepts. And when the quarterback coach, he has that time to process that and being able to talk him through it and understanding why is it important to marry those things together. I think that's the little details that you miss without having a straight quarterback coach.
All right. This is interesting. Jimbo Z3F says, Shoelace, this is a crazy question. But at what time next year do we realize our quarterback ain't who he thinks he is if he don't improve?
Whoa. See, here's the thing, man. This whole season he's been improving. I think this was the part of the worst game I graded him out this season. Me personally, this is the worst game I graded him out this season, and I think I've seen him continue to grow. I don't see him taking any big steps back. I think this is just one step back this game, and I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, it's a big game. It's your emotions a little high in this. A lot of different things that happens in this game, and I don't see him not being the guy. So I don't know why guys going to say that. You know, that's kind of weird to say that. Because a freshman going 9-3, that's pretty damn good to me.
All right. Moist Sauce 3. Lace, how do fans and media calling for coaches to be fired impact players who see behind the scenes? Also, can you guys talk down the fire more into the moon crowd? Can you talk them down?
So what's one thing as a Michigan player, right? Michigan player, Michigan staffer, if you had any type of ties to Michigan, right? The first thing you have to do is what? Beat your rivals. You know, win the ones you're supposed to win, but if you beat your rivals, that's the second thing you're supposed to do. First thing first, you win the ones you're supposed to win, right? But if you beat your rivals, you trending in the right direction because you beat your rivals. Now you got to start winning the Big Ten championships, and I think that's the big thing. Like, did he improve from last year? Did the record improve from last year?
Yes, it did.
So it's moving in the right direction. I think he's starting to get his guys in place. He got to start getting his type of mindset in place for this team. His type of guys that he wants in his locker room. I think we move too fast. I mean, and we're in the culture of like firing guys. That I think. That'd be the worst thing for the team sometimes, because you fire a guy and now you got to get used to a whole nother guy, and now you got to find his culture. He got to find the culture of our identity of Michigan football. He got to learn this and this. This guy has learned all these things from one of the greatest coaches to coach at Michigan, and it's Harbaugh. He's learned the Michigan way. He learned how to process and how to make a team go. You know, so I think we finished 9-3, man. Like, chill out, man. Hold your horses. I think he's doing a good job. I think he's processing things the right way. I think he's going to recruit the right guys. And it's funny because like this year, Bryce was not supposed to start. He brought in two different guys to be the starter. One guy got hurt, and that was the story of the season. Like, and now we had a freshman got real life action and got to process and play. And I think next year the ceiling is high, and so relax. We got a freshman that got some playing experience, and I think the sophomore year is gonna probably be one of his better years because of experience.
Man, I'm expecting a massive leap. Between his talent, and now you got a year under your belt.
Yeah.
You need to be out. And, hopefully they find a way to go out and get the top receiver in the portal. So there should be, hopefully they have the resources to do that. If they don't have the resources to do that, then maybe it's all moot. Like if they can't do that, then,
that's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. I mean, then maybe it's all.
But I think you also got to go get an O-line. You got to get a couple guys on the O-line, the right pieces.
Well, I mean, I think the O-line. I think they got the O-line, man. I think they have the O-line. Like you're gonna have Blake Frazier with some season. Evan Link comes back. You can slide him inside. You can slide Frazier inside. Andrew Babalola is gonna be coming off of his injury. You played a lot of guys. I mean, that's not to say that you maybe don't want to sign some depth, but you played some guys into some depth this year too. So your line, I think, is going to be the best it's been since the championship year. So I think the line is going to be in really, really, really good shape. It's like, man, you ready to go. You just need to round out your skill talent.
D-line, but you gotta go get a D-line. You gotta go get a couple of guys in the middle.
Yeah, you got to go get a D-line for sure. That's where you got to spend some real money. Now, are they going to have real money to spend in the portal? That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. Are they going to have that money to spend in the portal? like Ohio State did a couple years ago. They had it to spend in recruiting. Haven't seen portal money yet. Not like that. You know, we'll have to see if they have portal money to spend like that. Time will tell.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next question. I think the next question was from, and look, are you looking for a reset? I don't know how you reset like now. Who's looking to push the reset button right now?
Why?
Because that was the other part of the question. That's the other part of the question. Like, this is ridiculous. Like you're looking to reset when your record improves.
No. Yeah,
you got another really good recruiting class coming in. Like,
and you got a young quarterback. You have a freshman quarterback. He went 9-3.
You play 6 freshmen on offense.
Pretty damn good.
You play 6 freshmen on offense, and you won 9 games. Like, you got to have some perspective. You had a really young offensive team. That doesn't mean that you did everything right, but you were a really young offensive team. Like, come on, man.
And you lost to 2 teams that's going to be in the college playoffs. Because Oklahoma's getting in, right? Ohio State's in, right?
It's true.
I mean, you, and I'm not saying I think we are on that caliber of team to be in the playoffs, but you know, we dropped one early to Oklahoma. That was a tough one. Our defense was trying to get their things together, and our offense was trying to get their things together. And I think, you know, that was his first test on the road. You know, first road game, and it was a big one. It was a big road game. So I mean, take a deep breath. 9-3. We don't settle. We want to win 10 or more. We understand that. That's the Michigan tradition. You win 10 or more, so we could be, you know, find ourselves somewhere nice, you know. So 9-3 was, you know, that's what happened this year. You know, wish we could have got another one or 2. But you know, that's 9-3, man. With a freshman quarterback, that's not bad, man. That's not bad.
All right, on to the next one for you, Lace. This one is, thanks for the super chat. Unspoken Talks says, I think Bryce's biggest issue is not seeing the field. Lace, how do you develop there?
You start doing, like, I love doing the drill where we got 4 DBs, corner, 2 safeties, 2 corners, 2 safeties, and we just roll the coverage. We make the safeties play with your eyes and let you know, you have a pre-snap look, and then once you snap the ball, they give you the actual coverage, and you gotta process and say it as soon as you've seen it. I think those little drills like that can help you out. And watching film, knowing the tendencies, knowing who the guys, the rotation. And I think that was the biggest thing. Like, Caleb Downs was the guy that was gonna be the guy that moved around a lot. He was the joker, basically. He's gonna do everything, play safety, play nickel, play here, play there, line up a linebacker, do these different lineups. And so when you see him, you gotta know what he's doing and where he's gonna be at, because he's gonna probably tell you what the defense is doing. So, like, when you see those type of players, you gotta study those guys a lot. And then sometimes study these defensive coordinators. I think the more you know about that defensive coordinator, the more you know what he'll do and what he wouldn't do against a guy like you. So you got to look at film of a guy that can run dual threat quarterbacks. He got to learn how to watch film and process it like that. I think that comes with you and the coach becoming one. You know, him and Chip Lindsey should be able to almost, when it comes down to teaching the plays or teaching the defense, he should be able to sit just as well as Chip Lindsey said. And I think that's the biggest thing, understanding your OC is going to be your best friend. And sometimes I found a lot of fun in going to learn things from the defensive coordinators and asking him, what's my tendencies? What do I do And sometimes they'll tell you, but sometimes in the summer they wouldn't tell you, but like during the season they'll tell you, hey, this is what you're doing sometimes, and this give you away in certain things. So you got to learn your weaknesses too, and I think that's the biggest thing. So he got to start learning that stuff, learning how to break down film and break yourself down, knowing his weaknesses, knowing his strength.
All right, on to the next one, Lace. Let's see. That's another QB coach. Here's a good one from JMFD 7048. Question for Lace. Can you teach a quarterback how to sense where the pressure in the pocket is coming from, or is it something QBs are born with?
Oh, you got to feel it. I think that's the biggest thing. You feel it. Your eyes, your periphery, you see all that, you feel it. And the more you do little things, the drills of things being filled up like a medicine ball being thrown at your legs and things like that, you learn how to move. Everybody see the video of Big Ben hitting the medicine balls and things like that. That's one of the things that you do. Like you do those type of drills of stepping back, moving forward, stepping up in the pocket, doing things to feel it and not see it. You don't have to see it, you need to feel it. I think that's a feel thing more than seeing it. And then if you know where the pressure is coming from, you need to send a protection there. And I think that's one of the steps that I think I want to see him do more of, seeing where the pressure is coming from and sending the protection there. I think that's one of the things that I want to see him start taking the steps in the right direction, because most of the time as a young quarterback, you have like Crippen is more of a veteran center. You would say he played a lot of football. He's been in the Michigan program for a long time, and so he helped them out with knowing where the mic was at and things like that. And as a quarterback, you want to be able to know where the pressure's coming from, because you want to know where to slide yourself to get away from the pressure that's unblocked. And I think that's one of the things that he has to take a step in the right direction in now.
Bill Wood 7190 says, Denard, I really appreciate your commentary. With that said, is Bryce fixable by next season?
Oh, for sure. Because this whole season he's been taking the steps in the right direction. Now you want to see a different step of him knowing the offense. Now it's not about him knowing the offense. Now it's more of him knowing what the defense is going to do when he runs certain offensive plays. I think that was the biggest thing for me. My freshman year and sophomore year was kind of like me learning the offense and not learning what defense do to the offense and what's the weaknesses of the offense and what's the strength of the defense and what's the strength of the offense. So those are the things that I processed as a sophomore. My freshman year, I didn't process that. I was just learning the offense and understanding the offense. And the next year, I started understanding the defense and what's their weakness and what's the strength of our play call when we called it. And when I seen a certain cover three, I knew I could run the seams. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling the seams. I'm going to hold the safety with my eyes and take one of the seam routes. So when you start having those type of thought process of not just learning the offense, you learning what the defense is going to give you. You become a totally different quarterback, and I think that's the jump you're going to see this year. Is the next year is he's not going to be just seeing what the offense is supposed to be doing. He's going to be seeing what the defense should be doing, where the flat defender should be going, and he's going to have an answer for it. I think that's going to be the process that you see this next year of seeing the field.
All right, on to the next one.
What you think about it, Sam? You got to help me out with that one, because that's what I think.
I keep telling you, I think he's gonna make a big leap between this year and experience. We've seen be the best teacher for a lot of guys, especially quarterbacks. But I think he's gonna have a much better offensive line in front of him, because they are going to be experienced and more talented across the board, I think. And he's going to have a running game too. But again, when you have a better group in front of you, in addition to a running game, and then hopefully he has another guy comparable to Marsh on the other side as well, I just think that just opens the door for him to really, and that's just another guy. I mean, that not to mention other receivers that you can roll out there too. When you consider this will be another, you got Browder who should be better. You got freshman receivers that are coming in as well that you hope at least one of them will be able to be a contributor because you got some talented guys coming in. So you hope you'll be have some more weapons that he will be able to utilize thanks to that experience he now has under his belt. And with a commitment from an offensive perspective, you go into this offseason saying, hey, we are going to make a concerted effort to do more things in the passing game to get this passing game going. I kind of liken it to when Jim a few years back went to the offseason and said, hey, man, we're going to figure out how I want to run this football more. This is how I'm going to figure out a way how we going to do this. And so he went into the lab and figured out different ways how we going to run this football more. They need to do that with the passing game. That very same thing. Very same thing. I think.
Yeah. But yeah. And they gotta be able to sell that to the receiver they're trying to bring in to help Marsh out. They gotta sell that to a guy. And he gotta believe it. So how do you sell it to the recruit?
And I think a lot of the concepts are already there, but they need to put them on steroids, man. They need to put them on steroids. That's what I say. I mean, you gotta, the numbers gotta go up. The production has to go up. And so it just is that just usage, or is that more plays? You have to bring some things in to be able to accentuate what you're doing. I mean, that's something that I think you got to explore in the offseason to figure that out. Without, look, you don't want to say that you can't, can you have your cake and eat it too? Can you be physical and still say that we're going to throw the football more? Can you do both? I mean, you got to explore that because you can't have the number one quarterback in the country and, have any game where he throws for 100 yards. That just, you just can't do it.
It don't sound right. Yeah.
That can never be. That can never be.
It don't even sound right. Yeah.
That can never be.
You like, that don't make sense.
Right. So anyway, not to say that there wouldn't be some exceptional circumstance where as long as you win the game, like Georgia, they just beat Georgia Tech and Gunnar Stockton threw for 71 yards in the game. I'm not saying that there wouldn't be some exceptional circumstance where Bryce ain't Gunnar Stockton either, but you get my point. You might get in some rare game where something weird happens. But it can't be common. I mean, there's been a couple games where you go for 100 yards. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It can't be
that ain't normal.
Yeah, it can't be normal.
Yeah, that can't be normal. I mean, you got one of the best. And I thought he had two good receivers. Like, I think we should have linked on him more. I think he should have gave a couple guys on one of the fades that he threw to McCollum. I wish he would have gave it a little bit more air for him to see the ball, because I think he would have made that catch. I thought when he threw the fade, I thought he would have made that catch if he would have did that.
All right. Let's go back to the questions, Lace. Here's one. What would you advise? This is from Big Lar 56-321. What would you advise Bryce to do when he tucks and runs? Seems like he wasn't maximizing his opportunities.
I think he has to be more patient with the run. His thing with me is sometimes when he run the ball, he don't let his blocks set up a little bit, let it develop a little bit more. And like on the draws, I wish he'd take his time with the quarterback draw. I think if he's gonna run a quarterback draw, he need to, let everything work itself out and then go. I think he's hitting the draw a little bit too fast, And on the counters, I think he's not letting those guys get to where they need to go at. I think that's the biggest thing for him, just being a little bit more patient with the run game and letting it process. But that goes along with the of him having more runs, him seeing it a little bit more. I think that's the biggest thing. I think if we start letting him run the ball a little bit more, the more we trust him running the ball and more we put him in a running process, I think he'll have more success because then he'll start having a better feel for it and understanding where the guy's supposed to be at, understanding the blocking concepts and things like that. I think that's the thing for him is just understanding the process of it and the timing of that developing, letting the play develop. That's one thing I always told, like me and Borges talked about this early on in the season. I was saying he got to let the draw develop a little bit more. And he was like, you was the first quarterback that ever taught me to let the draw develop, the quarterback draw develop a little bit more. He was like, hey, just let me. I told him, I was like, hey, just let me be patient with it. I'm telling you, I'm going to have more success if I do it my way. And he was like, all right. And he's one of those coaches that if you have success doing it your way and it's right, if it feel right and look right, he'll let you take it. And I think that's the biggest thing for Bryce is now have the patience to let it develop. And I think the quarterback draw will be effective for him. And let the run plays the counters and the quarterback powers that they have for him, let it develop and then hit it. You know, we seen Alex Orji hit those last year. So those are things that I think he could do the same thing Alex Orji was doing last year.
Mm-hmm. Here was one Lace that Joel Bradley said, hey, sorry if this is already covered, but I'm baffled by the offensive game plan. One target for Marsh is inexcusable. We talked about the passing game plan.
Yeah.
Lace, like I said, I thought that early in the game, especially, the lack of early down passing was an issue. But yeah, I think we focus on the throws to Marsh specifically. I kind of had a feeling they were going to focus attention on Marsh.
For sure.
I think what was happening was I think McCulley was open quite a bit. I think McCulley.
For sure.
If you look at the game, McCulley was open. Like McCulley was open for a touchdown, or like play 35 that you were talking about.
Yes,
McCulley was open for a touchdown. So I think that's what was happening quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think that those throws that you're right. We should have got him going early for him to be the player that we want him to be in the fourth quarter. Because now that quarterback had confidence, that quarterback throwing the ball with rhythm and having that type of confidence in himself. But I don't think it was a confidence thing. It's about being comfortable, and I think that's the biggest thing for him to be comfortable and make those throws and see the field. I think he didn't have it because you got to throw the ball early on. You got to get him going, man. I think this could have been a battle. It could have been a deeper battle if we got rhythm. We got any type of rhythm with throwing the ball. I don't think we ever got in rhythm throwing the ball this game.
Yeah, I think you would have at least had a better chance. Look,
for sure.
He was definitely, you could tell he was definitely feeling, he was definitely uncomfortable. Would what I'm talking about have gotten him comfortable? I don't know. But would it have given him a chance? I think it would have given him a better chance. I don't think he had any chance every throw in the first half, other than the first drive, was on third down. Like every throw was on third down, other than the first drive. Like that's not going to get him comfortable. It's just not. I've never called plays, but I don't think that's going to get your quarterback comfortable.
No, it won't. It won't, because I feel like you got to get you want him to be feeling comfortable. Like, hey, coach, I want this play. Throw it. Hey, let's put this play in. I felt this way in the game. I don't know if he got comfortable enough to be able to go to the coach and say, "Hey, I want this play. Let's go this way."
Right, and I know. Look, that's not me saying that he did everything right either. Because look, there were some. Because in the same breath, because like we talked about, there were some things missed in the Reed game. So, that could very easily say that, man, boy, who's to say
we can't do that.
We can't do that either. Man, better not call a pass play, because is that going to even be red right? So I get it, but I think you got to try to force balance. I think you still got to try it. Just to see if that can work, because this other way didn't work either. So
not at all.
Couple more for you, Lace. Let's get a couple more in here for you, for the people. What did you think about this one? Yeah, this is tough. Andrew Matowski said it really hurt not having Hausman out on the field. Too many missing captains and injuries on the offensive side. It really had an impact. Yeah, no Hausman, no Max.
On the defensive side?
Yeah, you had Hausman was out on the defensive side, but Max was out on the offensive side. You were missing some.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, man. Max embodied everything a Michigan man is, and I mean, he's seen it from every angle, from being a fan of it, from being a brother of it, for being in it, for being the captain. So when you have that type of guy off the field, that physical, the way he played the game, the way he approached the game, that is tough for the offense not to have him coming off the edge and letting guys have it, leading the running back up in the hole. Like, that's a big difference. Not having Hausman is a big difference on defense. He's calling the plays. He's one of the guys. He's a leader on that team. He's a captain. So that is a big loss to have these two guys going. But at Michigan, we have to have that next guy out mentality, and we got to have those type of players to be able to fit in and keep going. We showed that this season. I mean, look at the running backs. We have 3 different running backs, and 3 different running backs went for 100-some yards, right? So we can't hang our hats on those two guys not being there. It definitely play a role when your captains are not there. I don't know what happened with the Hausman thing. So I've read about it, but I haven't really did a deep dive into what happened, what was the reason behind it. So if you got anything that you could share, Sam, I would love to know that, because that was kind of one of those ones that I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, he was just working. He was just working through some things, off the field, and they deemed holding them out was the best move, and you just support them in those things. And so, and obviously Max was banged up, and that's just a tough break for them as far as that was concerned. You just unfortunate circumstance that to have that mount here in the last game. So those are the breaks, as they say. Here's another super chat for you. Go Blue 97 says, Denard, your man Devin said that understanding protection is the key to Bryce's internal clock and pocket presence. Would it help to have him set the protection versus the center doing it?
Oh, that is the growth of a second-year quarterback. I feel like a first-year quarterback is that's a tough ask to have a freshman quarterback do in his first year in college football. And I agree with Devin. Once he knows the protection and he's setting the protection, that's definitely what happens with your clock is always there. Like, you have it there. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's what I talked about earlier of him having the process of being able to set the protection. I think that's going to be his thing that he learns this year, his second year. I think as a freshman, you just got to learn, okay, we know the plays. I know what the defense is doing. I know the offense is doing. You got to learn that. And then you could start venturing off into that when you start understanding the defense a little bit more. But right now, he has a veteran center. And most quarterbacks, that's the best thing for a young quarterback to have a veteran center, because he can help you set the protection to the right direction. And that's what Bryce did have. He had a veteran center that can help set the protection for him. And if you watch JJ had the same thing when he was a quarterback as a sophomore, but he had a veteran center, and that guy knew where to go with the ball, go with the protection, and he had 2 guys that was really, really smart with knowing where to go with protection. And then once you learn that, then now you become a guy that could set the protection. But I think as a freshman quarterback, that is tough to do. And the more you learn, that's when you start being able to set the protection. And that's when you become friends with the old O-line coach. And he helps you out. Hey, yeah, this is what we're thinking on this play. And we see these guys come up in this blitz. We know, okay, let's send the protection. Let's give a Ricky Lucy call. And we call Ricky, we got 4 guys going to the right. And we say, Lucy, we got 4 guys going to the left. And when you start understanding that process, I think that's more year 2 for a freshman quarterback. I mean, for a young quarterback. I think year 2 is when you start calling that protection. Not now.
All right. So we can close with this one. Tino Don, this is a question for both Sam and Lace. What can Michigan do to help shrink the gap of talent against OSU? Feels like we need to be a development juggernaut, aka elite coaching. Curious your thoughts on that, Denard. So I think you're in the process of doing that. I think the formula has been laid before. I don't think you can have a cavernous gap in recruiting. That's number one. So it can't be like it was toward the tail end of the championship era, tail end of Jim. It can't be. You can't be recruiting in the 20s. It can't be that. And so they've started to fix that with these last couple of classes where you're back in the top 10, up in the top 10, close to top 5 level. You got to be in that range. That's number one. Right. Number 2, you got to go be able to fill in gaps in the portal. You got to fill in gaps in the portal. And you got to be strategic with it. So I think you got to go get you, like for instance, this year, you need to go get you a top receiver. You need to go get you a couple of top D linemen. Like that's, if you're going to compete for a championship, a top receiver, a couple of top D linemen, and if you got something left over, you need to go get you a DB. So you need to be in the 4 range. That's what Ohio State did. They went and got 4 guys. I think they went and got 4 guys for that championship team. Now, Sayan was kind of like in the, he was like in reserve. They kind of held him in the hopper. He was like a throw-in, but he was still like, obviously a big-time guy. But they went and got, man. You got to do that.
And that's for sure. For sure.
And then,
you got to close the gap by doing that.
And then you're going to have to be more on development because you aren't going to be able to, you aren't going to recruit or have as many portal guys as Ohio State. So you're going to have to develop more than them. But, hopefully you feel like you got the components in place to do that. Right. And I think Michigan feels like building in the trenches. And they recruited offensive and defensive line to the extent where I think they feel like they're going to be able to do that. That's where they emphasize. That's where their focus is. So I think they feel like they're going to be able to bridge that gap consistently because that's where their focus is. So we'll see if that'll be the case. But I'm curious your thoughts on this, Lace.
Oh yeah. First of all, Michigan, we can't live in the portal, but we could get certain guys in the portal. I think that's the biggest thing. We gotta hit with our guys in the portal. When we get guys in the portal, we gotta hit with those guys. And because I feel like the Michigan way of they're doing things, you gotta kind of be developed. And I think the talent that we have, that young talent that we have, they could develop into champions. And I think that's the biggest thing. These kids are going to develop into be champions. And you just got to get certain pieces around. Like you said, let's go get a receiver. Let's go get a D lineman, a couple of D linemen, D tackles, just to get depth in certain positions and some veteranness about them that played a couple games and mean a lot of games in college football. So you got to get the right guys to come fit in your building and understand that. I think they did a good job this past season of getting the right guys to come in there. It was just about now having those guys understand the concepts and understand gap formations and all those things on defense and offense. But I think I agree with you 100% on that, man. Like you got to get the right guys in there. You're not gonna kill it like Ohio State do with the guys in the portal. You ain't gonna go crazy with that. You gotta have a certain amount of guys to be there. And I think that's the right way to do it. And I think how they doing it and how they setting it up because they starting to be a top 10 recruiting class. They got the best running back in the country right now coming to the school there. Now you go get you a number one receiver or a top 5 receiver in this class, and then you go get a top 5 receiver in the portal. Now you cooking now you cooking, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get a couple D line, and now you cooking, man. So you know the targets that you know where you need to go at, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. All right, Lace. Next up will be the bowl game, man. So we got another breakdown in us, but it's been an outstanding debut for you breaking these games down. You know, we appreciate you. You've been doing a great job. You got nearly 4,000 people in here watching you. So appreciate that. Appreciate you doing a great job all season long. You know, I got some Buckeyes in here, wanted to see what you had to say. So gave the Buckeyes.
Okay, here's the thing, Buckeyes. We got to give y'all praise when praise is due, man. It is due for y'all. Y'all did y'all thing. Y'all beat us pretty good. Y'all did everything y'all needed to do. Hey, Sam, man, it's been incredible, man, doing this with you, man. These last 12 weeks have been crazy. 13, 14 weeks have been crazy. I enjoyed it. Just being a part of this process, man. I never thought I'd be doing something like this, but you done opened me up to a new life and being able to speak and talk to people, impact people, and give them my advice from a quarterback perspective and watch this young guy develop. I enjoyed seeing this guy this whole season. Bryce did a good job, and Sam, you made it comfortable for me to be able to just express myself and talk. So a lot of gratitude towards you, man. I appreciate it, man. Shout out to Devin. He came before me. I praise him all the time. That's my brother. Man, this has been a great journey. I appreciate the Michigan fans. I appreciate the feedback. I love it. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do one day when I get done with trying to coach ball. I want to be like Sam one day, man. Get some hoops up, baby. Get it in, baby. Understanding and loving Michigan football like I do, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, man. It's been a great time, man. We got one more breakdown for this season, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you again. Thanks for watching Monday Morning Quarterback.